Almighty God, creator and ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our counsels and actions so that we may always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with thy grace to do only those things that will promote the unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria. Amen. I pledge to Nigeria, my country, to be faithful, loyal, and honest, to serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend our unity and uphold our honor and glory. So help me God. Honorable colleagues, I've examined and approved the votes and proceedings of Tuesday, 7th November 2023. We have some announcements. The first one is coming from Honorable Afam Victor Ogene, and the message reads as follows. The Chairman, House Committee on Renewable Energy, hereby inform honorable members of the inauguration ceremony of the committee, which holds as follows. Date, Wednesday, November 8, 2023. Time, 3 p.m. Venue, New Wing, first floor, meeting room 120, House of Representatives. Signed, Honorable Afam Victor Ogene. The second announcement is coming from Honorable Engineer Dominic Ifeanyi Okafo, and the message is for notification of the date of Pa Simeon Nwanko Soludo, the father of my state governor and my constituent, His Excellency Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, CFR. And the message reads as follows. It is with heavy heart but in absolute submission to the Almighty God that I bring to your notice the demise of the father of my governor, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, CFR, Governor of Anambra State, at the ripe age of 92. Pa Simeon Nwanko Soludo passed away peacefully on Monday, November 6, 2023. At the time of his demise, Pa Soludo was the oldest member of the Boy Scouts movement in Nigeria. He was a true believer in the nurturing of values of discipline, leadership, and dedicated community service to his people. He was a community leader whose lifestyle inspired both young and old folks. His disposition was instrumental in shaping and producing a service-oriented, one-time governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria and the present governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, CFR. He was survived by 7 sons and 8 daughters-in-law, 22 grandchildren, and 6 great-grandchildren. I urge Mr. Speaker and my honorable colleagues to join me in bidding farewell to the late Pa Simeon Nwanko Soludo by observing a minute silence in his honor. May Pa Soludo's gentle soul rest in peace. Signed, Honorable Engineer Dominic Okafo, Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Delegated Legislation. So, honorable colleagues, may we rise for a minute silence in honor of this great legend. May his soul rest in peace. There will be an announcement concerning sectoral debates, which the leadership of the House has approved, which we are commencing from tomorrow, tomorrow Thursday, and we will be engaging the chairman of Federal Inland Revenue Service, as well as the chairman of the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria. So please, members should take note that there will be a sectoral engagement tomorrow. And because of that, we may likely be starting our plenary early. We intend to be here by 9:30 so that we can start plenary by 10 and be able to attend to our visitors at least latest by 12 noon. It is going to be a very mutually beneficial engagement, and I want to urge all members to be around. Prepare your questions. It's an opportunity for you in a lifetime to ask questions directly to those that are supposed to give you the correct answers. So please avail yourself tomorrow. Come with your questions. We'll start unfailingly by 12 noon. So plenary is most likely going to start by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thank you. Any member that has not been sworn in? None? Petitions? Any member with petition? Deputy Chair, Environment.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Tese Ubo. I am representing Kwando Shongo Federal Constituency of Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to present a petition on behalf of my constituents, one Mrs. V. Ogenekume Ovuvore, who is petitioning as a counter petition to a petition that was laid on the floor by our leader and my leader of the House, Professor Julius Ihumvere. The petition reads, response to petition of illegal employment and elevation of Mrs. Okogeme Ovuzore V by Legal Aid Council Management. My response. Mr. Speaker, by your leave, I wish to lay the petition of this constituent of mine on the floor of the House, Mr. Speaker.
Please go ahead. Any more petitions? None? Petition is referred to the Committee on Public Petition. Matters of urgent public importance. I would like to recognize Honorable Uime Idem to present his motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. My name is Idem Unyime, member representing Ukanafun, Rwanda Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this morning under Order 8 Rule 4, matter of urgent public importance. And it's an urgent call for the Inspector General of Police, IGP, to take over the investigation of the abduction of a corps member from Akwa Ibom State, Ms. Imabong Samuel, alongside 11 other corps members in Kogi State, and intensify efforts to secure their immediate and safe release. Mr. Speaker, I move that the rules of the House be suspended to allow me to take this motion. I so move.
Any seconder to the first leg of the motion? You have to be a co-guide. Any co-guide here? None? Yes, Honorable, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Yusuf Baraje, member representing Boso Paiporo Federal Constituency of Niger State. I'm from the Power State, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second the motion moved by my colleague that we suspend rules to enable him present the matter of urgent public importance, and I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Any seconder to the second leg of the motion? Yes, Honorable, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, Nnamdi Ezechi is my name. I represent Ndokwa Federal Constituency of Delta State. Mr. Speaker, I rise here this morning to second the motion ably moved by our leader of South-South that this matter is urgent enough to be heard in this honorable house. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Idem, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. Mr. Speaker, this motion is sponsored by the 10 members of Akwa Ibom Caucus. The House aware that on November 1, 2023, an Akwa Ibom Transport Company, AKTC, vehicle conveying passengers from Uyo to Kogi State was hijacked by gunmen, and a corps member from Akwa Ibom State, Ms. Imabong Samuel, was on her way to her place of primary assignment, PPA, abducted alongside 11 other members, with an initial 15 million naira ransom currently negotiated to 2 million naira, as placed as a prerequisite for each release. Also aware that a similar case, still pending conclusive investigation, occurred on Thursday, August 17, 2023, where 8 corps members from Akwa Ibom State were abducted by gunmen in Zamfara State on their way to the place of primary assignment with a demand of 200 million naira. Note that this tragic occurrence seems to be on the increase lately,
Honorable Dixon.
which has sponsored fear among prospective corps members and poses a threat to the effectiveness of National Youth Service Corps in the nation. Worried that the frequent and continuous occurrence of this menace targeted at innocent corps members poses significant security concern, threatens the mandate of the NYSC, and erodes public trust and confidence in the government's inability to protect its citizens. Recognizing the urgent need to not only address this situation at hand, but to institute an urgent plan of action to forestall any more occurrences, restore confidence in our national security system, and preserve our national unity. The House resolved to mandate the Inspector General of Police, IGP, to take over the investigation of the abduction of the corps members and deploy all necessary resources, including personnel and intelligent capabilities, to ensure the swift and safe rescue of Ms. Imabong Samuel alongside the 11 other corps members. 2, urge the Nigerian police force to collaborate with other relevant security agencies, including the Department of State Services and Nigerian Army, to ensure coordinated and effective response to these rising security threats targeted at corps members and innocent citizens. 3, mandate the House Committee on National Security to ensure compliance with the resolution of the House and report back to the House within 1 week. Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable Dennis.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. My name is Honorable Dennis Idahosa. I represent Ovia Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I'm from Edo State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my colleague. I so second.
Those in support should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This, amendment?
Yes.
What's the amendment?
Mr. Speaker,
Well, you allowed me to hit the gavel, so please, I apologize. You can sit down. You can sit down. Since I hit the gavel, there is no way I can also give you the opportunity to talk.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely, and that is why he got it wrong. So this motion is referred to the Committee on National Security. Thank you. I also want to recognize Honorable Kalejaye Adeboye Paul, if he's around. Please go ahead, sir.
Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, I rise this morning to present a motion of urgent public importance to address. I am Honorable Kalejaye Adeboye Paul. I represent the people of Ajeromi Ifelodun Federal Constituency, the mini Nigeria. I am from Lagos State, the state of aquatic splendor. I rise this morning to present a motion of urgent public importance to address the tragic incidents that occurred at Ladipo Market in Ajeromi Ifelodun Federal Constituency in Lagos State. I apply to the House to suspend its rule on Order 8, Order 8 Rule 4, to allow me present this motion of urgent public importance. I so move.
Yeah, any seconder to the first leg? Doctor?
Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues, my name is Dr. Adebayo Adepoju, representing the good people of Ibarapa Central, Ibarapa North, Federal Constituency of the Payseta State. Mr. Speaker, I am from Oyo State. I rise this morning to second the motion to suspend the rules of the House to enable my honorable colleague deliver his matter of urgent public importance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. The second leg, any seconder? Yes, Honorable, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Mudashiru Lukman, representing the good people of Iwo Ayediriola Oluwa Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Osun State. I rise this morning to second the motion that this motion is very important to hear. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please proceed with your debate.
Mr. Speaker, dear colleagues, I appreciate everybody for this opportunity. The incident occurred last week in Ajeromi Ifelodun Federal Constituency at the Ladipo Market in Amokoko, precisely. The inferno gutted over 1,000 shops and left the entire market devastated. Note that this esteemed legislative body to direct appropriate emergency relief aware that the tragic incident has left the affected traders and artisans in the state distress and in despair. Also aware that the Ladipo Plank Market, despite its name, was not limited to selling of planks alone. It also accommodates artisans such as tailors, fashion designers, and other traders within the market. I have personally visited the markets, and I wish that this Honorable House resolve to urge the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Services to provide adequate financial support to the affected market. Also urge this House to resolve to direct the National Emergency Management Authority to provide emergency relief for this market. I so move. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Shetima.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable colleagues, I remain Lawan Shetima Ali, representing the good people of Bursari, Gaida Ministerial Constituency. I'm from Yobe State. I rise to second the motion, ably moved by my brother. I so second, sir.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on National Emergency Management Preparedness. And yeah, just that committee. Honorable members, the business of the day is presentation of report of the ad hoc committee to investigate the compliance of ministries, departments, and agencies of the federal government and corporate bodies with the Industrial Training Funds Act and other reasons affecting the scheme from 2010 to 2022, standing in the name of Honorable Emmanuel Upom Udo. Honorable members will recall that the matter was referred to the committee on Thursday, 6 July 2023. The report is ready for presentation. Honorable Upon is hereby invited to present the report.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Upon Udo. I represent the Konini Federal Constituency and from Akwa State. Right Honorable Speaker, I rise this morning and by the leave of the Honorable Speaker and the honorable members, that the House do receive the report from the ad hoc committee to investigate the compliance of ministries, departments, and agencies of the federal government and corporate bodies with Industrial Training Funds Act and other reasons affecting the scheme from 2010 to 2022. Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, by the leave of the Speaker, please, I may please be asked to lay this report to the Speaker.
Any seconder? AVM.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I am Air Vice Marshal Ujua Wadeni, retired, and I represent the good people of Ekiti South Federal Constituency 1. I'm from Ekiti State. I rise this morning to second the motion as moved by my chairman to submit a report of the ad hoc committee on ITF. I so move.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please go ahead and present your report. The first order of the day is the commencement of debate on the general principles of the bill for an act to regulate corporate social responsibility in Nigeria and for related matters, standing in the name of Honorable Olamide Oshoba. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 25th July 2023. I now invite Honorable Oshoba to move that the bill be now read the second time.
Thank you, Speaker. My distinguished colleagues, Olumide Oshoba, representing Abeokuta North, Obafemi Ode, and Odeda Federal Constituency. I rise with the leave of the House to present a bill for an act to regulate corporate social responsibility in Nigeria and other related matters. I so rise.
Any seconder? Any seconder? Dr. Patrick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Dr. Patrick Umo. I represent the entire people of Ikore Ekpene, Esienudim, Obodokara Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved by my friend and colleague, Olumide Oshoba. I so second.
Honorable, please go ahead and lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my distinguished colleagues. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to lead the debate on this very important bill. Right Honorable Speaker, my respected colleagues, it is well documented that economic activities and mostly extractive industry activities can enhance the well-being of communities in real terms due to their economic contributions coming from job creation, direct and indirect, new business opportunities, higher salaries, and social infrastructural service improvement like roads, electricity supply, health, and education, but can also have negative social impacts that range from the disruption of local communities, lifestyle, to political impact of affecting the quality of governance. Honorable Speaker and my respected colleagues, I've seen companies engaging in greenwashing when companies do not engage in genuine, authentic social or environmental initiatives, but instead use corporate social responsibility as a marketing tool to improve their image. Real corporate social responsibility does not only attract investment, but also improves the business environment, reduces business risks, and creates a more sustainable economy. Corporate social responsibilities can help to promote economic development and growth. As such, it is important for companies to consider their social and environmental impact and engage in responsible business practices, which is the sole objective of this bill. Honorable Speaker, the influx of expatriate workers into our country can be socially challenging to local communities. They become competitors for local resources and utilize the resources in those communities, crowding out services such as housing, water, security, and other physical and social infrastructure, which lead to a reconfiguration of local and social structures necessitating for this bill. Respected colleagues, the Corporate Social Responsibility Bill seeks to mandate and regulate social responsibility in Nigeria by establishing a monitoring unit housed within the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, which engages extractive companies having net worth of over 200 million naira or turnover of 200 million naira likewise, and net profit of over 30 million or more during any financial year, shall constitute a Corporate Social Responsibility Committee of the Board, consisting of at least 3 or more directors, out of which at least 1 director shall be an independent director to fulfill this legislation. Respected colleagues, for non-extractive companies, companies having net worth of 200 million naira or turnover of 200 million naira or more, likewise net profit of 50 million naira or more during a financial year, shall constitute a Corporate Social Responsibility Committee of the board, consisting of at least 3 or more directors, out of which at least 1 director shall be independent director to fulfill this legislation. The bill is divided into several sections. The short title, commencement, objective, definitions, establishment, appointment, and the following enforcement citation. Honorable Speaker, respected colleagues, I seek your support for this bill because it affects us all and will solve a part of a problem as a nation, seeking a transparent and accountable system combined with well-crafted social and community participation programs that provide a ground for addressing various social challenges inherent to corporate activities. Reaching the community participation and approval must be a relevant part in this corporate social responsibility of extractive and non-extractive industry companies. They are accepted by the public at large because of their role they play in society, providing but some very important essential necessities for social responsibility needs and well-being. Finally, this bill domiciles the Corporate Social Responsibility Unit in the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning initially to reduce the cost of governance and can over time become an agency or commission with favorable performance. It is important to note that corporate social responsibility initiatives can help bridge infrastructural deficits in communities where multinationals are located if they wake up to their responsibilities. My distinguished colleagues, Honorable Speaker, the CSR bill will help a lot of communities, likewise help in infrastructural development. It is in line with the President's Renewed Hope agenda, a renewed hope for those communities where companies are domiciled. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to present this bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is it for comments? I will allow two people to comment and then I will put the question. Honorable Jaha. After you, Doctor, you can talk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I'm Jaha Babao, Chibok Dambuwa Goza Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I want to start by commending the sponsor of the bill for the establishment of Corporate Social Responsibility Commission, Honorable Oshoba from Ogun State. As a matter of fact, we are all aware that corporate social responsibility is what private and public establishments give back to the community within which they operate or outside which they operate. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, what actually energized me to stand up and contribute to this bill is the establishment of the commission as a department under Ministry of Finance, Budget and Economic Planning. As a matter of fact, it's putting a square peg in a square hole, because honorable members can understand that Ministry of Finance, Budget and Economic Planning do receive aid grants from outside the country and even within the country. And they know exactly where such grants and aids can be allocated. At the end of the day, it's the responsibility of the Economic Planning and Budget Ministry to identify where there is a grant already or there is an aid from anywhere. Then corporate social responsibility, it may be more or less useless in that place because it has already been taken care of. Another thing, sir, the budgetary provisions of the federal government is being done by the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning. Whenever MDAs are doing their corporate social responsibility and other private sectors, the Budget Ministry can identify areas where there is a provision for the kind of projects they are planning to take to that particular community, so that other communities can as well benefit, particularly a community that is in need of that particular project seriously. And at the same time, it's going to define whether these companies, whether extractive or non-extractive, are contributing to the corporate social responsibility or not. Because as we are talking now, we will know whether they are doing it or not. Sometimes they just go and give one or two people some empowerment materials, if I can put it that way, and they call it corporate social responsibility. It's not the definition of corporate social responsibility. Corporate social responsibility is to identify what are the basic needs, the basic infrastructure of the community within which you operate. For instance, if Julius Berger can be situated in Kaduna State, for instance, Kaduna State have no reason to have a bridge that has not been constructed by a Julius Berger company. Kaduna State have no reason to have a road, a feeder road, that is not constructed by Julius Berger. The same thing applies to every other places in the country. So what we are trying to say is, if there is a commission of this nature, they will be checkmate, they will be controlled, and they will be supervised by the commission or the department itself from the Ministry of Finance to make sure that they contributed their quota to the development of the community within which they operate. So I urge honorable colleagues to support this. It's going to be a very important commission for the development of the country on one hand, and for the establishment of various extractive and non-extractive industries on the other hand. I thank you very much for listening.
Doctor?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I remain Chief Dr. Billy Famous Adesuwa Osawaru. I represent the good people of Oriomo Nwode Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm a proud Benichi from Edo State. My honorable colleagues, I want to commend the mover of this bill for an act to regulate corporate social responsibility in Nigeria and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, in line with the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, we know corporate social responsibility can go a long way to helping our communities. As the Deputy Chairman, Poverty Alleviation Committee, I'm pleading with the House that if corporate social responsibility is regulated properly, this can help the Nigerian people, because we have a lot of these companies set up in our communities. And as we speak, a lot of these companies have corporate social responsibility in their budget. Yet, some of these corporate social responsibilities are not carried out. Mr. Speaker, I believe if this is properly structured, like the developed society, this can go a long way, because we cannot leave every development for the government. Yes, this is where the corporate bodies come into development of our society. If we look properly and do our due diligence, we will find out that corporate social responsibilities implementation in Nigeria is not even up to 20%. Mr. Speaker, like I said, if properly done, it's going to create a win-win situation for this country. If corporate social responsibility is carried out, the company that is doing it for the community is going to be building a goodwill in that community and the nation at large. Then the people that will be the beneficiary of corporate social responsibility will be doing well as Nigerians. And the government of the day will be taking credit for the people doing well, because they are infusing money into circulation. That's going to help our economy as well. Mr. Speaker, two areas I would like us to quickly look at. We have to encourage the corporate social responsibility, like the way it's done in advanced countries, to see that it can be incorporated into our tax structure in such a way that every company that carries out its corporate social responsibility can be given a waiver as part of their taxes, just to encourage others that have not been doing it. Mr. Speaker, again, we have to keep encouraging our companies, because we see a lot of the unrest. I'm from a mostly rural community. A lot of the unrest, they come up as a result of these companies not carrying out their corporate social responsibilities. You cannot be an oil company cited in my federal constituency that has no lights, no borrow, no clean water. At the same time, we are reading on the newspapers that these companies are cutting away with billions of naira. Of course, there will be unrest. So one way to prevent this, Mr. Speaker, is to regulate, encourage corporate social responsibilities in Nigeria. I want to beg my colleagues one more time that this is another way we can alleviate poverty in Nigeria, because there are millions and billions that are approved in these companies, especially the multinationals, that are not being used for corporate social responsibility. And I believe this bill is going to solve that problem, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much again, Mr. Mover of this bill, and we encourage everyone to support this bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for letting me contribute to this matter.
Thank you, my honorable colleague. Is there anyone who wants to speak against the bill? Only against. If there isn't, we'll put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to regulate the corporate social responsibility in Nigeria and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Corporate Social Responsibility. The second order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend Nursing and Midwifery Registration Act Cap and 143 laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to review the composition of the council, qualification and tenure of office of the members of the council, review penalty provisions and the composition of the tribunal, including Bachelor of Nursing Science, Community Nursing, and Community Midwives in the registrable qualifications of the council. Give the council timeline within which to complete indexing of students, register prospective members, and issue license and communicate the decision of the council to institutions that apply for approval and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Abdul Malik Zubairu, honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Tuesday, 12th October 2023. I now invite Honorable Zubairu to move that the bill be read for the second time.
Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Abdul Malik Zubairu Bungudu, Zanam Bungudu, member representing Bungudu Model Federal Constituency of Zamfara State. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, it's a bill for an act to amend Nursing and Midwifery Registration Act, CAF 143 Law of the Federations of Nigeria, 2004, to review the composition of the council, council qualifications, and the tenure of the office of the members of the council, review penalty prohibitions under the composition of the tribunal, include bachelors of nursing science, community nurses, and the community midwives in the registrable qualification of the council, give the council timeline within which to complete the indexing of the student, register prospective members, and issue them license, and communicate the decision of the council to institutions that apply for the approval and for the related matters. To be read for the second time, I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Any comment before we put the question? No comment? Any seconder? Any seconder? Yes, Honorable, go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Abdullahi Balarabe Dabai, representing Bakuri Danja Federal Constituency of Katsina State. I rise this morning to second the motion ably to second this bill ably proposed by my honorable colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnics Act, CAP F17, laws of the Federation of Nigeria. A bill for an act to amend the Nursing and Midwifery Registration ETC Act, CAP N143, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, to review the composition of the council, qualification and tenure of office of the members of the council, review penalty provision and the composition of the tribunal, including Bachelor of Nursing Science, community nursing, and community midwives, the registrable qualifications of the council, give the council timeline within which to complete indexing of students, register prospective members, and issue license and communicate the decision of the council to institutions that apply for approval and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Healthcare Services. The third order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnics Act, CAP F117, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and establish Federal College of Science and Health Technology, Imbu Isiozo, Enugu State, to provide qualitative education in sciences, health, arts, and other technical knowledge, and for related matters. Standing in the name of Honorable Paul Sunday Namchi, Honorable Namchi is hereby invited to Honorable members will recall that the bill was read for the first time on Tuesday, 12th October 2023. I now invite Honorable Namchi to move that the bill be read for the second time.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues. I rise up to propose a bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnic Act, Cap 4F17 laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and establish Federal College of Science and Technology and Health Technology, Mbu, Isuzo, Enugu State, to provide qualitative education in science, health care, and other technical knowledge, and for related matters. Mr. Speaker, for the second time, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Sadi Soli.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Sada Soli, representing Jibia Kaita Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Katsina State. I rise to second the motion ably moved by Honorable Paul Sunday Namchi for second reading. I saw second.
Any, those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please go ahead and lead the debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, again. The lead debate on a bill to amend the Federal Polytechnic Establishment Act, Cap 4F17 of the Federation 2010, to establish the Federal College of Science and Health Technology, Mbu, Isuzo, Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I feel highly honored and privileged to lead the debate on the general principles of the bill for the second time for Act to amend the Federal Polytechnic Establishment Act 2023. The justifications are as follows. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the essence of this bill is to provide highly specialized institutions that would disseminate knowledge related to the development of technology, applied science, management, and other fields of study. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, again, my constituency are in dire need of a Federal College of Science and Health Technology. And the objectives are that this bill seeks to amend the first schedule of the Principal Act by inserting a new paragraph Q immediately after P, Federal College of Science and Health Technology, Mbu, Isuzo, Enugu State. The Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, once the Federal College of Science and Health Technology is established, it will not only bridge the gap in non-existent science and health technology institutions in the federal constituency, but also in the state, but will also provide Enugu State and the neighboring states such services. I humbly urge my colleagues to support that the bill be read a second time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I so move.
Any seconder? Yes, Honorable, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Boniface Sunday Merengwa. I represent the people of Ikwere, Emo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from River State. I rise to second the motion, enabling my colleague. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this bill be read for the second time, say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend the Federal Polytechnics Act, Cap F17, laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and establish Federal College of Science and Health Technology, Mbu Isuzo, Enugu State, to provide qualitative education in sciences, health, arts, and other technical knowledge, and for related matters. Second reading.
On polytechnics and higher technical education. The fourth order of the day is commencement of debate on the general principles of a bill for an act to amend Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act 2007 to provide for regulation of artisanal mining and refining, smelting, refining, and the provision of stiffer penalties for offenses under the bill to increase the effectiveness and for related matters. Standing in the names of Honorable Gaza Jonathan Gwevi, Honorable Benjamin Okeze, Honorable Julius Ohovere. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Thursday, 26 October 2023. I now invite Honorable Jonathan to move that the bill be read for the second time.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Gaza Jonathan Gwevi, and I rise to move a motion for a bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Mining and Minerals Act 2007 to provide for the regulation of artisanal mining and refining, smelting, refining, and the provision of stiffer penalties for offenses under the bill to increase the effectiveness of the sector. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Yes, Honorable.
Good morning, good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Engineer Dominic Ifeanyi Chukwu Okafor. I represent the good people of Agata Federal constituency. I'm from Anambra State. I rise this afternoon to support the motion ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so support. So second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please proceed.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, this bill, other than the sections that have to do with increase of fines due to passage of time, the general principle of this bill is hinged on amending a number of sections that would lead to a much more efficient and effective service delivery of the sector. We are aware of the fact that we're in a state of diversifying our economy, and solid minerals is being looked at as one of the most critical sectors that this country can leverage on raising the required foreign exchange that is needed to boost our economy. Honorable Speaker, dear colleagues, areas of this bill which we intend to amend, among other things, are sections that have to do with Miremco. Miremco is a minerals committee that is set up by the states to work in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals Development to see to the administration of solid minerals activities within the states. You will agree with me that in the news, we have heard of state governments issuing a lot of orders with regards to banning mining activities in the various states, which is actually in contravention to the spirit of the Constitution of Nigeria, Section 44, which puts mining on the exclusive list. However, this committee that is already in the law, what we're doing is strengthening it so that we are giving and establishing a synergy between the states and the federal government to actually undertake administration of mining at the state levels, which is already in the bill, but we're just enhancing the structure. Another thing this bill strives to do is to equally create an agency under the ministry, which is the Mines Inspectorate Environmental Agency. You will agree with me that just like the FIRS, solid minerals is about self-reporting, where the persons that hold these leases are supposed to report their gains and their wins to the ministry. Just like when you carry out your business, you are to report your tax to the FIRS, by which a certificate will be granted you. On the strength of this, Mr. Speaker, the FIRS, for instance, has 209 functional offices. But unlike in the solid mineral sector, you only have the 37 offices in the state. So what we're doing is to see how a more robust structure can be created with more working incentives, for us to have proper monitoring and evaluation of the sector. Another thing we have tried to
Honorable DJC, I think members would want you to stand up for recognition. This your dress is unique.
Thank you. I can see the leader is in the Bayelsa election mood. We wish him very well. Having said this, Mr. Speaker, the next thing this bill tries to cure is to create another agency or reform an agency, which is the National Mining Development Agency, under which the SMDF will be warehoused. Remember, the SMDF is an agency saddled with the responsibility of strengthening artisanal mining activities, research, and providing data that can be used to attract investment into the sector. We want to make the board structure much more inclusive.
Honorable Lolin, you are disturbing our leader. Oh. He is not concentrating because of, why don't you just go out? There is a door here. Yeah.
That subcommittee is dissolved by the leave of the Speaker.
Last but not the least, to save time, one thing that is of critical importance, of course, is the CDA aspect. We cannot reinvent the wheel. Just like this House achieved in the 9th Assembly, there is need for us to define what the host communities will be getting in the form of the CDA, Community Development Agreements. Thus far, hitherto, the CDA component has been very vague in the 2007 Act. What this bill tries to do is to prescribe an amount, being 5% of the institute valuation of the materials on the ground, which will be given to a community development association for the administration by the community for the benefit of the community, which would constitute the community development agreement. Among other things, we want to check environmental issues to make sure that we have a safer environment at the end of the day. Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I pray that you see the need for us to indeed support this bill with an aim of strengthening the solid mineral sector for greater economic diversification. Thank you very much.
Any seconder? Seconder to this bill? Who is a miner here? We better give this opportunity to a miner. I think Honorable Ari, even if you are not one, I know you are from a mining state, so please second this motion. You know, mining is part of agric. It's allowed by the Constitution.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respected colleagues, Ari Mohammed Abdelmoin, my name. I represent Nasarawa Total Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker. I am from Nasarawa State, home of solid minerals and oil. I rise to second the motion. If moved by a colleague, I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act to amend the Nigerian Minerals and Mining Act 2007 provide for the regulation of artisanal mining and refining, smelting, refining, and provision of stiffer penalties for offenses under the bill to increase the effectiveness and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on Solid Minerals Development. The fifth order of the day is commencement of debate on general principles of a bill for an act to provide a framework for the appointment of staff of the Office of the National Security Advisor to enhance institutional memory and effective performance of the responsibilities of the National Security Advisor and for related matters, standing in the names of Honorable Ahmed Satomi and Honorable Stanley Olajide. Honorable members will recall that the bill was read the first time on Wednesday, 1st November 2023. I now invite Honorable Satomi to move that the bill be read for the second time. Honorable Satomi?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Ian Zanzao. I am Honorable Adedeji Stanley Olajide,
representing Ibadan Northwest Southwest Federal Constituency of Oyo State. I rise to move pursuant to Order 12, Rule 4, that this bill for an act to provide a framework for the appointment of staff of the Office of the National Security Advisor to enhance institutional memory and effective performance of the responsibility of the Office of the National Security Advisor for all the related matters be read for the second time. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Honorable Martins?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Martins Essen is my name. I represent the good people of Oron, Mbo, Okobo, Udumuko, Refo, and Ugu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa Ibom State. I rise this afternoon to second the motion that this bill be read for the second time. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Respected colleagues, permit me to lead the debate on the general principle on a bill for an act to provide a framework for the appointment, pension, gratuity, and other retirement benefits of the Office of the National Security Advisor, and retention of quality and skilled manpower for the institutional memory and effective performance of the responsibility of the Office of the National Security Advisor. You will recall that the bill was read for the first time on the 31st day of October 2023. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, this bill seeks to strengthen the national security coordination role of the Office of the National Security Advisor, to remedy the institutional gap in the appointment, pension, gratuity, and other retirement benefits of the staff of the Office of the National Security Advisor, and for the retention
Honorable Fulatan, how is Jigawa State? I hope everyone is fine there.
Mr. Speaker, I think Jigawa is fine. For the retention of the quality and the skilled manpower for the institutional memory and the effective performance of the responsibility of the office pursuant to the National Security Agency Act. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, you may wish to note that currently the Office of the National Security Advisor relies primarily on the secondment from the military, law enforcement and intelligence services, and contracts for its staffing. Mr. Speaker, over time, some of the contract staff providing critical knowledge-based services in the office have worked for upward of 10 years without any plans for their pension, health insurance, and other benefits as obtained in the security sector and public services. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, and my respected colleagues, the Office of the National Security Advisor is charged with to manage the key national security coordination platform, including the National Security Council established under the Constitution. The expanding role of the Office of the National Security Advisor is in the area of cybersecurity, educational security, health security, nuclear, chemical, biological security, environmental security, food security, border security, maritime security, and counterterrorism oversight. Mr. Speaker, I need not tell you how important this bill is. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker, contract staffing as currently obtained does not provide the right career prospects and job security for attracting and employing and retaining the highly competent Nigerians to work in the joint national security space. The National Security Strategy 2019 incorporates human security measures, including educational security, health security, and environmental security, among others. Critical investment in ICT infrastructure in the office also requires a build-up of administrative capacity to effectively function. Thus, the need to attract permanent, civil, and the kind of structure needed for the next few years. This will also ensure institutional memory and effective transition between governments. The office also oversees critical national security programs on behalf of the President that also requires consistency, program management, monitoring, and evaluation. These programs include Presidential Amnesty Program, National Counterterrorism Center, National Center of the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, among others. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, from my research for this bill, I gathered that the President also approved the restructuring of the office to update its workforce and focus area to meet the new internal and external national security challenges that we face. Mr. Speaker, this will require the sourcing of experienced and highly skilled Nigerians in areas of research, development, food and environmental security, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, data mining, national security law, forensics, oil and gas security, among others. Mr. Speaker, the previous assembly has severally called for improved coordination and interagency collaboration to address the national security challenges. Empowering the National Security Advisor to maintain the permanent staffing will strengthen the capacity of the office to effectively coordinate and ensure a result-based national security plan for our country. In closure, Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, I would like to emphasize that this bill is timely, it is strategic, it is relevant, and will go a long way in the closing of the critical gaps in our national security governance. Therefore, I urge you, all my respected colleagues, to support the bill, and I'm here to answer any question that you may have. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder? Seconder, Honorable Bashir Zubairu.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, Bashir Zubairu Usman is my name, representing Benungwari Giwa, Federal Constituency of Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, I beg to second this important motion that ably moved by the chairman of this committee. Thank you.
Those in support of this bill be read the second time, say aye. Aye. Those against, you say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. A bill for an act provides a framework for the appointment of staff of the Office of the National Security Advisor to enhance institutional memory and effective performance of the responsibilities of the National Security Advisor and for related matters. Second reading.
Bill referred to the Committee on National Security and Intelligence. The sixth order of the day is a motion on rescission of the resolution of the sitting of the House, New Order 5, Rule 3 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives, standing in the name of Honorable Francis E. Waive. Honorable Waive is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Francis A. Jirogane Waive is my name, and I represent the entire people of Uwele North, Uwele South, and Udu. I am from Delta State, and by your leave, Chair of the Committee on Rules and Business of the 10th House of Representatives. I rise this afternoon to move a motion for the rescission of the resolution of the sitting of the House on the New Order 5, Rule 3 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives. The House notes that on Tuesday, the 7th of November 2023, it considered the New Order 5, Rule 3 of the Standing Orders of the House of Representatives on emergency sitting of the House and was negative. Aware of the importance of Order 5, Rule 3, which allows honorable members to participate in the proceedings by electronic means, cognizance of the need to rescind the decision on Order 5 Route 3, the House resolves to rescind the decision of the House which new Order 5 Route 3 of the Standing Order of the House of Representatives and commit it again to the Committee of the Whole for reconsideration. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Sadiq Ango, please can you tell us the subject matter we are discussing and also second after? Then you can second the motion, even if you don't know what you are seconding. I give you that, that opportunity.
Mr. Speaker, my respected colleagues, my name is Honorable Sadiq Ango Abdullahi, member representing Sabangari Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion ably moved by my honorable colleague. I so second. Thank you.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This order is committed to the Committee of the Whole. The seventh order of the day is a motion on the need to investigate illegal mining in solid mineral sector, standing in the name of Honorable Ibrahim Abdullah Halims. Honorable Halims is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Honorable Abdullah Ibrahim Halims. I am from Kogi State and I represent the good people of Bankpa, Omalala, Omalala constituency. I rise this morning to move this very important motion on the need to investigate illegal mining in solid mineral sector. The House knows the significant economic potential of Nigerian solid mineral sector in contributing to the country's development and expansion of
Honorable Kawoje, can you find your seat, please?
Also knows the vast mineral resources in Nigeria that are largely untapped and underutilized, which can play a very critical role in diversifying the economy, creating jobs, and boosting revenue generation. Aware of the urgent need for focused intervention and radical measures to address the issues affecting the solid mineral sector and its underperformance, as indicated in the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative NETI 2022 report, which states mineral sector contribution to the gross domestic product GDP at 0.63% or 1.10 trillion naira, and contribution to government revenue at 2.62% of the government 6.6 trillion total revenue in naira. Concern about the current challenges bedeviling the solid mineral sector because of illegal mining activities and acknowledging its detrimental impact on the environment, national security, and economic growth. Worried about the loss of revenue from unregulated and illicit mining operations, costing government over $9 billion annually, with only 3% royalties paid by a few licensed miners, hindering the country's mineral resource utilization. Disturbed about the negative impacts of illegal mining, which have led to insecurity and conflicts over control of mining sites and their resources, and escalated into violence, thus exacerbating existing political and social tensions.
in the affected communities. Cognizant that due to the increased prevalence of illegal mining and other criminal activities affecting host communities, the governors of Taraba, Benue, and Nasarawa states
Honorable Jimmy,
have signed
please pay
executive
attention.
orders banning illegal mining to protect host communities and regulate mining activities in their respective states. Recognizes the urgency of the federal government to swiftly and decisively address the revitalization and development of this critical sector for the benefit of the Nigerian economy and its citizens. Resolves: 1. Urge the federal government to declare a state of emergency in the mining sector concerning illegal mining. 2. Also urge the federal government to make a special intervention in the 2024 budget estimate to provide for the establishment of mineral monitoring and inspection offices equipped with qualified manpower and equipment, stroke infrastructure in the 109 senatorial districts of the country. Number 3, further urge the federal government to constitute a special security tax for 2 years lifespan, comprising the military, Department of State, Security Service, DSS, Immigration, Civil Defense, and the Nigerian Police Force to embark on a sweeping exercise to flush out all illegal miners. And number 4, finally, mandate the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure compliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues.
Any seconder? Honorable Pascal.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker, dear honorable colleagues. My name is Right Honorable Pascal Abodike. I speak for Ihala Federal Constituency. I'm from Anambra State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion. Need to investigate illegal mining in solid mineral sector, as moved by Honorable Ibrahim Abdullahi. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Amendment? Please go ahead.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, Gaza Jonathan Befi representing Karu Kefi Kokona Federal Constituency. Arise that we amend item 4 to read that the House should mandate the committees on solid minerals, national security, army, police, and interior to ensure compliance. I so move.
So what are you adding? You're adding more committees?
That we repeal the legislative compliance because we have standing committees that have been mandated to oversight these sectors.
So which committees are you
Solid minerals, national security, army, police, interior to ensure compliance.
Any seconder to this amendment? Honorable Ali JC, the new Bayelsa man.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I remain Dr. Ali Sajesi, representing Balanga, Plenary Federal Constituency. I am from State. Mr. Speaker, my amendment, if you look at the heading of the motion, is asking for investigations, but the prayers, no amendment.
You have my protection, Honorable. Even if you are wrong.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. You want somebody?
So after that, you can second Abi.
Okay, let me second his own amendment and also move for amendment to delete his amendment.
Okay.
I hereby second the amendment moved by him, and also let him put the question, please.
Of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. I think you want to also contribute, right? Please go ahead.
I wanted to, Mr. Speaker, The heading of the motion is talking about investigations, while the prayers is urging federal government to take actions. I believe if you are calling for an investigations, let it be only on investigation. So my amendment is to delete all the prayers and add that the committee should investigate all the issues raised by the mover.
If I understand what you are saying, the committees added by the first speaker should be the ones to do the investigation. So we are not deleting that amended prayer, but we're amending all other aspects of the prayer except that one. Am I getting you right? So any seconder to this motion? Yes, barrister from Kano.
Right Honorable Speaker, my name is Barrister Rabi Yusuf, representing the good people of Takei Sumele Federal Constituency of Kano State. I stand to second the amendment be made by my colleague, and I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. We put the question, those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the committees on solid minerals, army, interior, and what other one? And national security. Yes. Thank you. The eighth order of the day is a motion on road development and erosion control of the underpass at Wawa and Kara sections along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, standing in the name of Honorable Ibrahim Ayokule Isiaka. Honorable Isiaka is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you very much. Our own quintessential speaker with substantial values. I'm Ibrahim Ayokule Isiaka. I represent the very good people of Ifo, Ewekoro Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from the fastest growing economic state in Nigeria. I'm from Ogun State. I rise, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable members, my colleagues, to move a motion on the road development and erosion control of the underpass at Wawa and Kara sections along the ever-busy Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The House notes that Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is the oldest and most active intercity dual carriageway connecting Lagos to other parts of the country and facilitating international trade, with an estimated 250,000 daily passenger car per unit, PCU. Observe that the two critical underpasses...
Honorable Amos Governor, please can you find your seat?
At the Wawa and Kara sections of the expressway were not factored into the scope of work, which can serve as traffic engineering to optimally utilize the road network when completed to reduce congestion during the peak logging. Aware of the wrap-up phase of the project at the Lagos end, which still requires additional scope are the two sections of Wawa and Kara underpasses. Worried about the frequent loss of lives due to the lack of pedestrian crossover in the entire stretch of both the short and the long bridges between the Wawa and Kara sections of the road, the House resolved urge the Federal Ministry of Works to include the development of underpasses at Wawa and Kara sections of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway before the demobilization of the contractor currently working in that axis. Also urge the Federal Ministry of Works to construct roads to and from Wawa and Kara markets along the expressway to serve as a recovery zone for vehicles straining from the expressway. The House also mandates the committees on works and appropriation to ensure that budgetary provisions are made for the additional scope of work as stated herein. Finally, the House mandates the Committee on Legislative Compliance to ensure that the resolution of this House is strictly complied with. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Honorable Jambo.
Thank you very much, my dear Honorable Speaker, dear colleagues. My name is Clement Jimbo. I still represent the good people of Abaket Mekbuika Federal Constituency. I rise to second the motion as ably moved by my leader. Thank you. I so second.
This is an infrastructure-related motion, so there will be no need for any debates. I go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committee on Works and Appropriation and Legislative Compliance. The ninth order of the day is a motion on the need to appraise the condition of Nigerian federal roads, standing in the name of Honorable Akimbaso Festus. Honorable Akimbaso is hereby invited to move the motion. Is Honorable Festus around? No? Motion stepped down by the leave of the House. The 10th order of the day is a motion on call on the National Drugs Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, to eradicate drug bongs in the country, standing in the name of Honorable Emmanuel Upong Udo. Honorable Ubon is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, my respected colleagues. My name is Dr. Emmanuel Upong Udo. I represent Ikonini Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I rise this afternoon to move the motion on the item as listed. So, because of time, I don't know if I can read the 3 last paragraphs, so I can go on. The House notes that the function of the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, among others, are to strengthen cooperation with the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, the police force, customs, immigration, welfare officials, health officials, and other law enforcement agencies in the eradication of illicit traffic in narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances, as mandated by Section 3 of the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency Act, Cap 30, Laws of the Federation 2004. Also notes the provisions of Section 3F of the Act, which states that adoption of measures which shall include coordinated preventive and repressive action, introductions and maintenance of investigative and control techniques. The stop that the recent statistics from the agency showed 40% of Nigerian youths aged 18 to 35 involved in drug abuse, and according to a report from the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, over 14.3 million aged 15 to 64 engaged in the same. Alarmed that drug bongs are being opened in strategic locations in various cities across the country and fast becoming hostels where young Nigerians are found spending their entire day, these bongs are well known to security agencies and citizens. Worried that drug abuse in Nigeria is growing concern, affecting personal growth, societal values, and health and security risk, with hotels and transport companies allegedly aiding illegal activities. The House is also concerned that the future of Nigerian youth is destroyed as they invest in all their finances from legitimate and illegal means in enriching drug barons, affecting the country's development and progress, a situation which jeopardizes the future of youth and undermines the development and progress of the country. The House resolves to urge the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency to come up with a mechanism aimed at targeting the eradication of the drug bongs in all the states of the Federation, and also mandate the Committee on Drugs and Narcotics to ensure compliance. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
The Chairman, Northeast Development.
Thank you. Most humble Speaker, I'm Honorable Zanna Usman.
representing the good people of Kagagu, Beoma, Gomeri Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, I'm from Borno State. I rise to second the motion, ably moved by my own very good friend Emmanuel Udom. I so second, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to Committee on Narcotics and Drugs. The 11th order of the day is a motion on the need to rehabilitate and upgrade Wuro Kesum Dam Gasol local government area of Taraba State, standing in the name of Honorable Jafar Yakubu. Honorable Yakubu is hereby invited to move the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Honorable Jafar Yakubu, representing Bali Gasol Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Taraba State. Mr. Speaker, I stand this afternoon to move the motion for the need to rehabilitate and upgrade Wuro Kesu Dam in Gasol local government area of Taraba State. Mr. Speaker, the House note that Gasol local government area of Taraba State, with a population of about 500 persons and a land mass of about 5.298 kilometer area, lies on a floodplain where River Taraba converges with River Benue in the region of Upper Benue River Toro. The House also note that because of its strategic location between the two rivers, the major economic activities in the constituency include fishing and farming. The House also aware that the Wuro Kesun Dam provides irrigation activities for agricultural purposes to the downstream farming communities of Wuro Kesun, Sendirde, Gasol, Mutumbiu, Tella, with over 1,500 hectares of land. The House also concerned that the Wuro Kesun Dam is dilapidated and in their need of rehabilitation to revitalize economic activities in Gasol local government area and its environs. Prayers. Resolve and urge the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to provide funds for the rehabilitation and upgrading of Wuro Kesun Dam, Gasol local government area in 2024 budget estimate, and to mandate the Committee of Water Resources to ensure compliance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My dear colleagues, I dare move. Dare so move.
FCT.
Honorable Speaker, my colleagues, my name is Honorable Abdurrahman Ajia. I represent the very good people of Gwagwalada, Uje, Kwali, Abaji, that is Abuja South Federal Constituency. I'm from FCT. Mr. Speaker, I rise to support the motion heavily moved by my colleague, as well second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support of this motion should say aye.
Amendment, Mr. Speaker.
I've already put the question, so please, you should have at least raised that you have an amendment.
Mr. Speaker, the motion was being seconded.
It's not gone down, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The gavel has not gone down.
And
the motion was being
since you have
seconded.
spoken,
The gavel has not gone down.
I've stepped down what I wanted to do. So, Honorable Ejete, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Okolu Pumete. I represent the good people of Eket, Una, Esreke, and Ibon Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa Ibom State. Mr. Speaker, I have amendment to prayer 2, prayer number 2. My amendment is to insert Committee on Appropriation. So it will now read, mandate the committees on water resources and appropriation to ensure compliance. I so amend, Mr. Speaker.
Any seconder to this? Yes, Honorable. Deputy Chairman Comas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Right Honorable Ambassador James Sharif Barker. I rise to second the amendment motion. Ably moved by my colleague. Thank you.
Those in support of this amendment should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. I think it is a straightforward motion, so we go ahead and put the question. Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. The ayes have it. This motion is referred to the Committees on Water Resources and Appropriation. The 12th order of the day is a motion on the need to reconstruct the abandoned portions of the Oju Otupo, Owetru, Ojun Adrum Okuku, and Oju Odrum Okuku N and Oju Owoku Abakaliki roads, standing in the name of Honorable David Agada Ogeu. Honorable Ogeu is hereby invited to move the motion. I think Ogeu is not around, right? Is he around?
No, step down, sir.
Okay, so this motion is stepped down by the leave of the House. The 13th order of the day is resumption of consideration of report of the ad hoc committee on the review of standing orders of the House of Representatives. Honorable members will recall that on Tuesday, 7th November 2023, the House in the Committee of the Whole considered and approved Order 1 to 20, Rules 1 and 4F, and adjourned consideration of the report on Igarwe of the report. Honorable Igarwe, NO will move for the resumption of consideration. Honorable colleagues, I think the Deputy Speaker is at the villa attending a program. So I will invite the leader to move that we take a break of 1 hour, after which we will convey and continue with the consideration of the report, with your kind permission. So, pardon? We are suspending now.
Mr. Speaker.
Okay, please, I've just been advised that he might not likely be able to make it. So I will invite the leader to move that we adjourn to tomorrow.
Mr. Speaker, Julius Ihoviri, Owan Federal Constituency of the State. I rise to move that the House do adjourn to tomorrow, 11 a.m. prompt. Same venue. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues. Kingsley Chinda, I represent Tobiabo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I stand to second the motion that the House do adjourn to tomorrow, 10 a.m. for the sectorial debates. I so second.
Those in support of this motion should say aye. Aye. Those against should say nay. The nays can remain while the ayes can move out. House adjourned to tomorrow by 9:30 a.m. 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. Yes, please. Tomorrow we are going to have sectoral debates, so we are going to convey by 9:30 to commence plenary by 10 a.m. Thank you.
Document number.
Now,
sectoral debate.
Za ka karba